Hello and welcome back to the Edge Gaming channel, where today we've got Star Wars Outlaws video for you, where we are going to be looking at the 5 confirmed weapons vess will have access to in the campaign of Star Wars Outlaws. First up, we have got her trusty VM19 Heavy Blaster. Kay's primary weapon for the game is the VM19 Blaster that she can use in 3 ways. The first being the standard blaster mode, which is your standard firing mode against most weapons, which will prove quite effective. Secondly, we have got a more stealthy approach against enemies, and that is her stun mode, which allows Kay to incapacitate her enemies while sneaking around outposts or bases or any other types of areas during the main game. And if you're looking to do a non-lethal campaign, then it's going to come in real handy for you. And then thirdly, we have her ion mode, which is also known as her focus mode. This allows Kay to fire a more powerful shot against those tougher enemies. This also has been shown in the original trailer for the game to be a really effective method of taking down shield enemies. Next up, we have the Z6 rotary blaster cannon. For those who have played games like Jedi Survivor and this Battlefront games, the Z6 rotary blaster cannon will be very familiar to you. This minigun-like weapon very often comes with its own shield, protecting the user from incoming fire, and is very effective against large clusters of enemies. Originally, the weapon was used by the clone troopers during the Clone Wars for the Republican Army. It was later adopted by the Imperial Army and Rebel Alliance forces. It was originally created to help with blaster firing rates and cooldowns, containing 6 blaster cannons attached to a cooling cell that would rotate around upon firing. However, it is very heavy and is only accurate while the user is standing still. The next weapon available to vess is the E11. Easily the most iconic weapon in all of Star Wars, and my personal favourite. The E11 was the standard issue weapon of the stormtroopers of the Imperial Army, and was used widely throughout the galaxy for over a century, and was made famous in the original trilogy due to the fact that stormtroopers could not hit a single shot using these weapons, which was partly due to the excessive recoil that accompanied the weapon. It also comes with a stun mode, which may feature in the game, but that remains to be seen, and in my experience of these kind of games, I don't believe it will be present, but fingers crossed. The 4th weapon available to Kay is the A300 Blaster Rifle. Okay, I've got some own up to do on this one. In previous videos I've made on TikTok, I have claimed that the A300 Blaster was used by the Republican clone troopers, thanks to some research sources on the internet, so apologies for that. But after doing some much better research, I have established that the A300 Blaster Rifle was predominantly used by the Rebel Alliance, noticeably during the Battle of Scarif, which featured in Rogue One. It will be familiar to a lot of Battlefront fans, as the weapon is very similar to the A280 and is identical to the A280 CFE, and has also been known to be used as a sniper rifle, which happens when replacing the barrel of the weapon with an air cooling barrel, making it an extremely versatile weapon for combating Imperial forces. The weapon has also been known to Star Wars media as it was used by the Pikes in recently the Acolyte, but enough said about that show, is probably for the better. And finally, we have got the ZB3 Modulator Rifle. Now, after conducting some research on this rifle, I've concluded a number of things. That the ZB3 Modulator Rifle is yet to appear in any Star Wars media as of yet. So therefore, this could mean one of 2 things. Number 1, being that this weapon could in fact be a brand new weapon that is being introduced into the lore of Star Wars, or, in a more realistic note, is that it could be offering a hint to a cool gameplay mechanic of Outlaws, where you are able to craft and mod the different weapons of Star Wars, such as you could have a fast-firing E11, for example, which would be incredible to do, which, to my knowledge, has not been able to be accomplished in any past Star Wars game. So we could see the introduction of crafting tables, much like they are in Jedi Survivor, and in games such as The Last of Us, for example. So, there we have it. Those are the 5 weapons that have been confirmed to be in the game. Comment down below any guns that you would like to see feature in Star Wars Outlaws, and if you want to add lightsabers in there and the colours, feel free. And then if you could all like and subscribe, that would be great.